As snow piles up through another decent winter,
Go ahead and put these on.
Scott Petit dons his snowshoes.
Haven't worn these things for a year or better.
He works for a federal agency that measures snow, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And at a snow measuring site across Highway 2 from the Stevens Pass ski area, he's showing us how those measurements are taken by hand. But no, for the most part, snow measurement is mostly automated these days. The slots in the tube show the snow depth.
Looks like about 78 inches of snow. Oh, there it is.
It's also how much that sample weighs.
What these numbers mean is that tells us exactly how much water content is in this snow tube, which is how much water you're going to have if you melted the snow right now and it ran off into the rivers and streams.
I've been going out on these surveys with Scott for years, usually around the 1st of April when the snowpack is at its peak. This was 2011.
114.
He's been at this for decades.
And so working for the agency, I was able to kind of work my way into it, learn the hydrology side of it. And, you know, I've been doing it for 30 years now.
NRCS, part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, everybody said, okay, this is for farmers, but this isn't just for farmers.
Absolutely not. It's for everybody that relies on water. 70 to 80% of our surface water here in Washington comes from mountain snowpack and runoff. And so it's important for fish, it's important for municipal water supply, power generation, and the farmers.
We have the biggest quantity of quote-unquote warm snow. So we got a lot of water, you know, it's Northwest, right? And a lot of that water is stored in snow at temperatures close to the freezing point. So a little bit of warming makes a big difference.
Guillaume Mauger is a climate scientist at the University of Washington's Climate Impacts Group. We spoke along the ship canal on campus. I was the one overdressed. It's in the 50s.
I thought it was going to be cold, but
It's February 9th.
I know. Yeah, doesn't make sense.
It shouldn't be this warm. Is this climate change that we're
No.
existing, or is this a freak day?
I mean, it's always the hard question, isn't it? I mean, it's probably, I think the answer is yes, as always, right? It's both.
In this graphic, the Climate Impacts Group shows our historic pattern: snow in blue, rain in green, and a mix of both in red. 2 decades from now, it's expected to look like this: less snow, more mix. In 60 years, rain rules.
One of the ways that we talk about it is we talk about whether or not we're in a system that's rain dominant or snow dominant, right? And that just means, do you get a lot of water stored in your snowpack in winter or very little at all? And the projections you're talking about show that most of the state goes to being rain dominant by the end of the century. So meaning there's very little effect of snowpack on the kinds of things we care about.
Is this a view of our future? This was the same snow site I just took you to back in April of 2015, when snow should have been at its peak. There was less than 20 inches. That 2014-2015 winter was a record low.
We have never measured this low amount of snow since we've been measuring snow.
Snowpack isn't just about how deep the snow gets. It's about how much area it covers. And as the world warms, there will be snow, but it will be concentrated at higher elevations where there's less real estate. There's a lot of anxiety that some February we're going to come up here and there's not going to be much to look at.
And that can happen, just like 2015. But at this point in time, in the climatology that we have, those are anomalous years.
Right.
So they're out there, okay? So you can't really look at a year like this and positively say, this is going to be the future. Maybe it will be. Maybe things will turn around. We don't know yet that for sure.
In 1999, it was a record high.
I've seen 20 feet of snow up here, which is the height of that tower there. And years ago, I think that was in that 1998, 1999 record-setting year, that I measured 20 feet of snow up here. That's the last time that I've done that. And again, that was an anomaly.
Actually, with snowpack, really what we've seen already is really significant.
Petit says things started to shift in the 70s. He's not convinced we're going to run out of snow, but low years are coming closer together.
You know, you look at the next couple of decades, we're seeing acceleration. It's going to continue through this century.
Petit is not a climatologist, but he's aware of the risks.
And I think it's a question that society as a whole is going to have to work together to help solve, whether it means building more reservoirs or groundwater recharge systems like they are starting to do around the state in places. And, you know, things like that, we have to have a conscientious effort of doing that.
In our next story, you can see that work in progress as a multi-billion-dollar plan comes together to hang on to the water we expect to get when nature can no longer store it as snow. At Stevens Pass, Glenn Farley, King 5 News.